Okay, I have to say okay to that. All right, you let me know when you want me to start.
Anytime is good.
Thank you. So we're going to call to order. The time is now 10:01 a.m. on June the 26th, 2024. I'd like to call to order this Mayor's Golf Classic Funds Committee. But first, I'm going to read the land acknowledgement. The town of Aurora acknowledges that the Anishinaabe lands on which we live and work are the traditional and treaty territory of the Chippewas of Georgina Island, as well as many other nations whose presence here continues to this day. As the closest First Nation community to Aurora, we recognize the special relationship the Chippewas have with the lands and the waters of this territory. They are the water protectors and environmental stewards of these lands. And as a municipality, we join them in these responsibilities. We further acknowledge that Aurora is part of the treaty lands of the Mississaugas and Chippewas, recognized through Treaty Number 13, as well as the Williams Treaties of 1923. A shared understanding of how the rich cultural heritage that has existed for centuries and how our collective past brought us to where we are today will help us walk together into a better future. So the next item is approval of the agenda. So may I have a motion to approve the revised agenda as circulated by Legislative Services? Moved by Abe, seconded by Michelle. Any questions or comments on the agenda? Okay, I'll call a vote. All in favor? Anyone opposed? And that carries. And now number 4, declarations of pecuniary, I'll never get this word right, pecuniary interest in general nature thereof. Are there any declarations of conflict of interest or pecuniary interest? Anyone? Okay. Receipt of the minutes. The Mayor's Golf Classic Funds Committee meeting minutes of May the 2nd, 2024. May I please have a motion to receive the minutes of May 2nd, 2024, moved by Dan, seconded by Abe. All in favor? Anyone opposed? No. Delegations, we have no delegations today. So the matters for consideration, we do, I believe, have 4 applications, which I believe, hopefully you've all had a chance to have a read through. And how many of the individuals will be coming on, Mike? Of all 4 of them?
Expecting all 4. One's just dropped off. The third one, but I expect she'll be back. So I'm going to let Lori Mueller in from the from Sport Aurora. She's the executive director of Sport Aurora.
So each matter is dealt with separately, and we request a motion to put the item on the floor for discussion, and then we'll ask for a confirmation of the committee's direction before calling the vote. So we'll ask for Lori to come in. She has the application for Sports Aurora, which is All Kids Can Play program. May I have a mover and a seconder to put the item on the floor for discussion? Moved by Abe and seconded by Dan. And so the application should be in front of you. We'll be looking at the application, All Kids Can Play program to be received. And our committee will provide direction to either grant the funding request, deny the funding request, or defer consideration for a future meeting. So we do have Lori Mueller here with us. Hello, Lori. Nice to see you. Do we have any questions or comments for Lori? Or Lori, is there anything you would like to share? And it's a very concise, definitely, application. So anything you want to share specifically about the program?
Can you, am I working?
Yep.
Okay, that's good. I don't think there's anything in general to add to the application. The increase in applications are increasing. I've also am witness to the increase in fee structure within our sport organizations as well, and that's probably due to not necessarily COVID recovery, but just an increase in covering their costs. So now the cost of registration for any given parent is in more of an issue. And it seems to be a steady rise. I mean, the program is 19 years old and strictly runs off of 100% donated funds. So when we see a decrease in our funds, then that's when we go and look for donations to help pool for the community families. So I don't think there's anything in particular I need to add to the application unless someone has a question.
Thank you. Thank you, Lori. Any questions for? No questions for Lori? Okay, so Lori, this is what we do next, is we will either grant the funding request, deny the funding request, or defer. So if there's no further comments or questions, I'm going to take a vote. So all in favor of granting the funding request? I believe there's no opposed. So we have granted your request for $5,000. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you very much.
Town staff will be in touch with you.
Thank you. Have a great rest of the morning.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, so we'll move on to number 2. So do we have, who's on the line now?
We have Pam.
Pam from Yale Brickhouse. Perfect. So we're going in order. It's all good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey,
Pam's
Pam.
just coming on. She's just connecting to audio, so probably can't hear us yet, but just be a second.
Looking for her. There you are. Hi, Pam.
How are you? Can you
Very
see me?
good. Nice to see you.
I can't tell if
So-
my camera's on. I apologize.
So we did receive an application from Yale
Yes.
Brickhouse regarding Break the Silence, Step in My Shoes, and committee members, you should have received the application in your package. So basically what's going to happen, Pam, is we're going to first I have to have a mover and a seconder to put the item on the floor. So does anyone want to move this application? Set it on Abe, and seconder I saw Dan, so we'll have seconder for Dan. And it's an application regarding Break the Silence, Step in My Shoes, walk. So Pam, we will either grant the funding request, deny the funding request, or defer discussion for another meeting. And you want to give us just a high level overview of the funding request.
So this is an annual walk, Break the Silence, Step in My Shoes. And last year we actually took it to the next level by incorporating the raising the flag for National Women's Abuse Month, Prevention Month. And we actually had an overwhelming response from dignitaries, MPs, MPPs. We were even featured on City TV Barrie. And so we really are planning on doing that again this year. So it's a great way to bring together the community. And more importantly, involving the community and the boys having a voice about empowering and breaking the silence against domestic violence. Hosting it at St. Andrew's College. We've done this for about 7 years, and it really has helped us engage the conversation. So part of that, we will be hosting the walk. We will have its free registration. People will participate and get pledged. We actually have donors from Aurora that are supporting the luncheon, which is really amazing. And so there's very, very minimal costs or expense. So that means total funding from sponsors are going to the bottom line. This year, it is all in support of Nights of Safety. We lost 67 women and children in Ontario to domestic violence alone last year, and those numbers are staggering. And so we feel that the need for shelter is even more. So it costs us $50,000 per bed per year in our shelters. Out of the 41 beds and cribs, we only have 25 of those funded. So having this event, raising, our goal is to raise over $100,000. We did 120 last year, so we are hoping to exceed that, but we will fund 2 shelter beds for the year. So that is the purpose of it. So we'll have the opening ceremonies with the dignitaries, we'll raise the flag, we'll then walk, and as people are walking around the St. Andrew's College, they will be highlighted with statistics and stats and education, but they'll also see the names of the women that we lost over the past year. So it's a very impactful event. It's a very great events that create awareness for what we do, and honestly, just getting the word out about domestic violence. That's the big thing right now. So we just want to create that conversation. So having Aurora a part of this is huge because the event takes place every year, and our shelter started. Our very first shelter in Aurora started in Aurora. So it would be really great if we could have your support.
Thank you. Thank you, Pamela. Any questions for Pamela? Or comments? Okay. So we'll start with granting the funding request vote. So I will call the vote for granting the request. All in favor? Anyone opposed? I believe that is carried. Thank you, Pamela. And the town staff will be in touch.
So Angela, I just wanted to reconfirm, we did receive funding last year, and then this is this year. We are only allowed to apply for 2 years in a row. Is that correct? I just wanted to clarify that.
I'm going to ask Mike to answer that.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Pam. Yes. No, they're guidelines, and the guidelines say you cannot receive funding for more than 2 years in a row. We have a very healthy account at the same time, though. So and want to help with we might look at going back to council and seeing to rejig the guidelines so great organizations like yours can apply every year, because the golf tournament's not going to stop. And
so would you have any objection, even though I know the guidelines are in, if I put myself as a note for next year? And obviously we always try to plan well in advance for all of these walks and fundraisers. Do you have any objection of me putting it in my calendar next year for the 2025? And if we don't apply, if we're not qualified, then I get that. But at least I can submit the letter of ask again, but I don't want to overstep. I never want to be perceived of overstep.
Through you, Madam Chair, I personally would have no issue with that at all.
I have absolutely no issue with that as well. And actually, thank you, Pamela, for bringing that up, because that would be a question I would have as well. And one of the things I'll be asking later after everybody's finished is just around where we're standing financially anyway, which, as Mike says, it's a healthy budget, but it's also an event that happened.
And I have one last question for your team, and this is just because we appreciate your support. We would love to be able to recognize, and I know that this is not to go towards sponsorship. However, we don't really have any expenses for our walk because we get a lot of in-kind sponsors. Could we recognize the city logo as called the title sponsor, but necessarily that funding of $5,000 is really going to the bottom line because we have absolutely no expenses? I'm not sure if you still want to just be considered do you want to be considered the title sponsor, because that is the $5,000 level, which is our ask, or we can just put your funding towards the total overall, but we could still recognize your logo. I just wanted to give you that choice before we go out and seek another title sponsor.
I'm asking Mike to answer that one from the town.
Yeah, so for me, I don't think I mean, I don't know if any of our communications people are watching right now. I don't think it's necessary for us to be the title sponsor. The town this isn't for recognition.
Okay.
This is just to help local residents as much as we can. So
Sounds
I think whatever financially benefits Yellow Brick House the most,
Yeah.
I would say works for us.
Okay, but I will ask that your city just send us any high-res logos. We will recognize your support, but we won't list you as title sponsor. And we'll seek out another sponsor for that $5,000. But I just wanted to double check so that I'm got all my I's dotted and T's crossed. Okay. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Mike. Nice meeting everyone else. Really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So the next application is for and I want to make sure I say it right. Hua Young. Do you know how they?
I think I don't know for sure. I think that's right. The Huiyuan Multicultural Association. We have Anne
Are they
Zhang.
online?
Yes, Anne's just joined us. There's Anne.
Thank you. Hello, Anne.
Hi, I'm here.
Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Angela, and I'm with the committee. And
Yes.
oops, where's my notes? And so we're going to just start off with some reviews of the application. But first, I have to read a couple of things. So we have an application from the Hua Young, and I want to make sure I say that right.
Huayun.
Oh, I really said it wrong. Huayuan.
Huayun.
Huayuan.
对
Okay.
yes yeah.
Multicultural Association.
Yes.
And first I need to have a mover from the committee to put the item on the floor, Michelle, and a seconder from the committee, Abe. And so, Anne, if you could just give us a high-level overview of the funds that you're requesting and the purpose behind that. We do have your application, and the committee members have read it.
Yeah, so let me understand what you want me talk about that. So
Actually,
you
if there's any, we can ask first if there's any questions of
Yes,
Anne in
please.
regards
Yeah.
to the application.
Yeah.
It looks like you're a very, very active group in the community.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it started before COVID, year 2018. It start a few senior retirement senior at their basement, at the President John's basement. And the reason they started that group and is because everybody know there's two senior, they suicide themselves because they came from China and sponsored by their children and come here, no English, no driving, no computer, no social activities. So they have one is very in very depression, and the others is because of the family conflict. You know, the two generation. So they all the Aurora residents. One is just suicide at the park near the so they just said, they just think about the group of people, 8 of them, they start and the meeting at the someone's basement, and they say we should help each other, senior help senior. So they just start from at the very beginning, social gathering and doing some dancing, do some instrument, and even the COVID time stopped a little bit, and later just joined so many programs. Now you can see they have a Tai Chi team, they have a social dancing, they have a fishing program, they have a gardening program. It's 10 of the team program now. It's very, very active. So this Canada Day, they are going to provide 50 people to the parade. You know, the city parade, 7 Canada Day. Yeah. 50 people. They already ready, very, very busy to get ready for them.
Well, Anne, thank you for that. And what a wonderful response to a very tragic situation with the loss of those people. So I appreciate this application. So you're asking for $5,000. So basically what we do is we make a decision on granting or denying or on deferring the application to a future meeting, but we start with granting. So if the committee doesn't have any other questions or comments for Anne, are we all in favor of granting the funding request? I can see a show of hands. Anyone opposed? Doesn't look like it. So it has been granted. That carries. So you will.
Approved.
Sorry?
It means approved.
You've been approved.
Oh,
So the town staff will follow up with your team, Anne, and you will find out how you will receive the check. But thank you so much for taking time to meet with us.
Thank you. I'm almost teared. Thank you for the support.
I know, I
Thank
was
you for
almost
the support.
teary. And you know what, Anne, this is just personal. I just literally had a meeting a little while before. I'm with the Salvation Army, and we talked about the needs of the seniors in our community. And this has really solidified to me, hearing your story, how we need to step up and provide support to our seniors. So thank you so much.
Thank you. So I can leave now, right?
You can leave now.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. So the next one, is anyone from the Optimist with us?
Yes, we have Carol from the Optimist Club is coming in right now.
Hi, Carol. When you have a chance to turn yourself on, we'll have a little chat. Here she comes. Just need your microphone. There we go.
Yeah, it prompted me all kinds of different places. Hello, how do you do?
Carol, you're kind of in the dark, but that's okay.
Oh, really? My office is so well lit.
I think you may have something on your camera, but that's okay. We can continue without seeing you.
I can see if my friend here can help me. Just a minute. Do you mind just a minute?
Take your time. Take your time.
Hey, Roman, they can't see me. Not that it's that important.
Oh, well, Carol, we'd love to see your beautiful face.
Oh my
If
goodness.
not, we can continue. If you can't get it
That's
fixed,
fine.
Carol, we don't want that to be a pressure for you.
Thanks, Peter.
They can't see me.
There might be something just covering your.
Oh. Is that it?
Mhm.
We can see you.
That's okay, Carol. We can move. Oh, no, I just lost you there for a second. Okay, well, we'll continue, Carol. Don't worry about it.
As long
We
as you
wanna
can hear me.
We can hear you. So the application from the Optimist Club of Aurora is regarding the youth programs. And again, you would have seen the application. And basically what will happen, Carol, is we're going to look at either granting or denying or deferring the decision. But first
Okay.
I need a mover and a seconder to put the item on the floor. So if I can have a mover, Dan, and a seconder, Abe, thank you. So Carol, if you're able to give us just at a high level overview of what your application was requesting.
Okay. Funds to support the youth programs that we're currently supporting and we'd like to maintain and possibly increase. Specifically, we're looking at the snacks program in the schools. And I think during my application, I mentioned that we're seeing more and more requests. And we can't fully fund it, but we can certainly do our best. And we anticipate more schools coming on. We've seen it in the last couple of years. We started with 4, then 5, then 6, and then a high school came on. That really surprised us. I don't know why, but that really surprised us. And then we started to get into areas where there were children in town, whether they were refugees or not, whether there was tragedies in the home place, if somebody had to leave the house or there were fires, all of a sudden within 24 hours, we would have to turn around some boots, coats, clothing, just different things like the need. And I'm sure you hear this from everybody. The need is getting greater. And plus, not just that, that's something that we've seen such an increase, but then we have other programs that we want to support. Last year we had the CAMH with the bus. I don't know if you're familiar with that, with the bus that goes to Williams. And a lot of the kids utilize that bus for mental health reasons. We like to support that. We like to support the hospital. Wherever there's a need for youth to be serviced, whether it's medical, educational, whatever, that's where we want to focus all of our efforts. And like I said, we fundraise as well. Like we do our best to get whatever funds we can through the community, and we support the community too. We support the senior center. We if we have a barbecue for them, we're out there and we will maybe just charge them our costs, but we're doing the service for them. We do the same for Town of Aurora and just different organizations. We help with the food bank. This year we actually were able to, through the members' donations, we had a dinner where they came and they spoke welcoming arms and the pantry, and the members themselves contributed more. We always pay for our own dinners. We contributed more to the dinner so that we could have a donation to those 2 areas. And mainly it's requests. Like if somebody comes to us with a request, we vote on it, we look at it, the board looks at it, the board can approve $500. Anything over $500 has to go to the whole membership. There's about 50 members, and we make the decision collectively.
Thank you, Carol. I appreciate that. And we appreciate that. I'll just put my 2 cents in. Again, the Salvation Army has received funding for the last few years for the Brave event, which is our human trafficking event through the Aurora Optimist Club. And that's something we've always appreciated. So the application as read and as spoken to by Carol, the committee now can provide direction either to grant the funding request. So we should vote on that first. All opposed to grant? Hands up, sorry. I don't see anybody. Oh, you can't hear me?
No, I think you worded that a little funny.
I did read the word
All
that's funny.
opposed.
We'll call the vote to grant the funding request from the Optimist Club of Aurora. All in favor? Sorry about that. Any opposed? Okay, so that carries. Carol, the town will reach out to you in regards to the $5,000 request.
Oh, thank you so much. We really, really, really appreciate it. Anything we get.
And actually, Carol, I might follow up with you afterwards regarding the funding of the food programs in the schools, if I could do so.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate it. So I can let my members know?
Sure.
Is that okay? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't need a formal anything. Okay,
we have told you. It is so.
So it is written. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time and efforts and your support.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye. Okay, so information. You can just let yourself go there, that's fine. Informational business. We have no informational business. No new business. Anyone have any new business? So I do have a couple questions, Mike, and I appreciated the questions that Pamela had. One would be, so yeah, I probably ask this every time. Do we have a sense of where we are standing right now?
Absolutely, we know exactly where we are. With the $20,000 that the committee has awarded this morning, the total in the fund is $141,655.09.
Okay. And then the other question she asked about, and you referred to it, so every 2 years, et cetera, or only 2 years in a row. So when do we foresee being able to go to the council related to either raising the amount we can give to one charity at a time, or how often they can submit?
So I don't think it won't affect anyone this year, because no one's on their second year, or no one as of last year is on their second year. So it wouldn't. So I was thinking either at the end of this year or early next year, I would go to the committee, possibly after the golf tournament this year, which is in September, and or go to council and suggest some different guidelines. And now that we're not just starting off anymore, I guess you could say that the fund is considerable, and I think as long as we have the $5,000 maximum there, I think organizations can apply for more than 2 consecutive years, and we would still be fine.
And I was surprised. So again, this is just a selfish question. We have our annual gala happening in September, and I haven't thought to apply for that purpose. And I did keep back a couple of thousand in case I had another request for services, but it is part of our mental health services while we're having this gala. So it is something I could apply to, is support towards, in this case, a fundraising event, just like the Elbrook House just did. Is that fine?
For me, it's at the committee's discretion.
Right.
You folks know much better than me, and about where, what is, what's important to contribute to. And so, if the committee believes it's warranted, then I'm, no questions for me.
You may hear from me again. Okay. So gotta go back on to the adjournment. Sorry, any more other business? I sort of took that over. Any other questions, comments? Okay. So may I have a motion to adjourn, moved by Michelle and seconded by Dan? All in favor? Carries. Yay. Thank you, Mike, again for all that you do and your team. I appreciate that.
Thank you guys
Great.
for your time this morning. Really appreciate it.
All right. Look forward to hearing from